how do I estimate local search volume? Man, if I had $1 for every single time that I have been asked this question, if I had $1, if I could just provide a great answer for this. At the end of the day, local search volume stats are kind of bunk. Like, they're bullshit, right? If you use Google's keyword tool, for example, they're going to provide you a number. You're going to put in like your location, the areas that you target. You're going to put in your keywords. They're going to provide you with some numbers, but you got to understand that the numbers, the data is just bad. The data is just bad. How many of you guys have experienced when doing keyword research that you've actually had some stats and you're looking at it and you're like, this is what I see in analytics and this is what I see inside of, right, Google's keyword tool, and they're not even close? Give me some feedback in the chat. Right? They aren't even close. So I can give you guys a real example here that I think will help you guys truly understand how bad this data is. So we in Jacksonville have a website that ranks for Jacksonville plus service. It's a two keyword long keyword phrase, right? It's only got 2 words in it. It's a big head turn. And it drives a lot of calls to us. So on a weekly basis, we get anywhere from 80 to 100 phone calls from that one keyword phrase. Okay, 80 to 100 phone calls a week. Okay, now the search volume for that one keyword says about the same, anywhere from 100 to 120 searches per week. And we're getting that many calls just from one keyword. Okay, so there is a huge discrepancy. Okay, understand that there is no real good way to estimate quote unquote local search volume. Okay, there is no good way. Okay, the best way to do this is to run a Google Ads campaign. Okay, and simply you're going to count your impressions. Okay, so let's say that you're going to go after, Jacksonville or Chicago. Let's say you're going to go after Chicago roofing. You'd let that ad run for a day, 2 days, 3 days, just on that one keyword, right? And then see what the search volume is in terms of impressions. So you're going to look at your campaign and you're going to say, yeah, all right, so we got 110 impressions yesterday for this one keyword phrase. Okay, running Google Ads campaigns is the best way to do this, okay? And I know that sometimes that's not really possible, okay? The other thing that you should be thinking about is not just local search volume, but what's the intent of the keywords and what's the conversion rate going to be like? Understand that whenever possible, folks, you should be running Google Ads campaigns as your primer, as your test, right? To then take and apply Google Local and Google Organic too. Okay, you're gonna find what keywords drive search volume. So for example, in one of the verticals that we've played very highly in, we managed up until recently about $100,000, $120,000 a month in ad spend. With all that ad spend, I can tell you that there's 3 to 4 keyword variations. They're very similar keywords, 3 to 4 variations that 90% or so of that spend and those conversions come from. So there's literally hundreds and thousands of keywords that we could potentially go after, but all that really matters is 3 to 4 of those variations or 3 to 4 of those keyword phrases. So I could be spinning my wheels and I could be doing SEO and I could be building links, targeting all these keywords that aren't actually going to drive conversions for me. Does that make sense? So you shouldn't just be thinking about how do I get local search volume. You should be thinking of how do I test the market so that I know what to do with the rest of my marketing. Give me a 3 if that was an aha moment, if that was good stuff for you guys. So I'm going to put key idea here on my slide. Use Google Ads to test the market. So then I'm going to put underneath there what keywords are really important and what keywords drive most of the volume. So you guys have all heard of the 80-20, right? 80-20. You guys have all heard of that, I'm sure. So 80-20 philosophy is great, but I think it's more like 64-6 or 66-4, meaning like quite literally the 4% of what you do gets you the 66% of the results. Okay, so you got to be strategic, right? And that's why when I do these AMAs and when I do content that I give you guys, I really want to teach you guys the context of my answers. I want to teach you guys how to ask the right questions, right? I don't want to just give you guys the answers. I want to teach you guys how to fish so that you guys can keep doing this. Rinse and repeat over and over and over and over. And I can really teach you guys how to think correctly. Give me some feedback in the chat if that makes sense. I don't want to just say yes or no, do this, do that. I want to give you guys the context of why I'm saying that. Okay, yeah, I think it's called the 96-4, no, the 64-4, something like that. 64-4, 66-4, something like that. All right, makes sense, good stuff. Okay, because it's not going to get you 100% of the results, right? But understand that, you know, getting 80% of the way there and doing that really, really effectively and smart and very leveraged, right? Is it really worth getting that extra 30%, right? You're probably going to have to double your COGS, double your effort, right? You're going to have to do a whole lot more work for kind of diminishing returns. Okay, so that's why that equation doesn't add up to 100.